You have the floor. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Ben Becker. My wife, our 3 children, and I live in Houston, Texas, and are proud to be a part of the Texas public school system. I come before the committee to talk about duty and trust. The Commissioner of Education has a duty to carry out the laws that you put in place. Senators communicate to us that they trust the Commissioner to follow those laws when they confirm him or her for office. With my brief time this morning, I'd like to highlight a very important example of Mr. Morath failing his duty and breaking that trust. 2 years ago, in response to widespread parent concern about the scope and reach of Texas's STAR system, the Texas legislature wisely passed a number of reforms. One of those was HB 743, passed on an emergency basis and provided several protections, including a limit on the length of standardized assessments for our youngest students. Chairman Birdwell, Vice Chairman Watson, Senator Estes, Senator Menendez, each of you voted, along with over 90% of your colleagues in the legislature, for HB 743. Thank you. But what do laws mean if they're not carried out? What hope do we have as constituents when we appeal to you, you listen, and then the executive fails to comply? What then? Attached to my testimony today is a memo from Educational Testing Service to the TEA that shows that last year's STAR did not comply with HB 743. It didn't even come close. This memo was withheld from the public for over 3 months. After 3 different public information requests were denied, a group of parents banded together, throwing in 10 $25 donations from all around the state, raising over $20,000 in only a couple of months. They used that money to sue Mr. Morath, and only after being directly asked by a judge whether the TA had the data on whether it complied with the law did the agency produce this memo showing that it did not. To this day, the TEA is withholding documents that were a part of what led up to last year's STAR administration, which show the TEA never intended to comply. What's more, Mr. Morath not only believes he can ignore the legislature, he also believes he is above our court system. He and his agency have used every legal maneuver, including filing for a protective order against parents to keep public records sealed. He argues that parents don't have the right to challenge his actions in court, actions that are clearly outside the authority this legislature gave him. So, time limits may not be a big deal, but everyone in Texas knows school accountability certainly is, and we expect it to be fair. When you put laws in place, they're meant to be followed. When you confirm a Commissioner of Education, you're saying she or he can be trusted. So I would ask the committee this: if Mr. Morath can't be trusted to implement the school accountability system as you intended, and if Mr. Morath doesn't believe he has a duty to follow the laws you put in place, and if Mr. Morath doesn't have enough faith in his work to let the public and the courts review his actions, how should he be confirmed? Please vote against government overreach. Please vote against silencing parents. And please vote against confirming Mike Morath as Commissioner of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Becker.